What is going on, guys? I am Bob's Baldroid, and I am here with another Pokemon trading card game battle. And in this video, we will be playing some different decks. I have the deck that I did with my Gengar Wobbuffet deck, and my opponent is using a Seismitoad Raichu deck. Similar to the one that I did in the deck list for that deck. And I am playing here on the left, and my opponent is playing on the right. So we'll just get set up here and start with the match. But I really wanted to get another one of these matches up. I haven't been getting one in a while, so excited to get another one. And it looks like, believe I've got a Gengar and a Wobbuffet, and he starts with the Pikachu. So obviously from the start here, I have the better start by the Pokemon on the field. And he'll roller skates. And so, just a FYI, the cards that you'll see in this video will be any cards that are not likely to get rotated out. And I can say from doing a couple matches with decks that will still be tournament legal after the new rotation, I will very much enjoy it. Honestly, I thought that I would miss out a lot, but after playing, just 3 or 4 matches without N, I really do enjoy playing without the card. It was just really annoying that when you had a good hand and then it got disrupted by N. You just didn't want that to happen. And now there's no way to really disrupt your opponent's hand without, some kind of gimmicky card. But N was really the main way you do that. And we'll see a Seismitoad drop the field with a double colorless, so that's great for him. And I'll also get a super scoop up, and he'll get heads on the super scoop up, so Pikachu will drop, or get picked up. He'll drop Pikachu back down, slide Seismitoad in, and because he is going first, he will not be able to Quaking Punch, but he will definitely be able to next turn, as long as I can't take that energy off of it, which I don't think I can. Yeah, so this is, both of these decks, again, are very similar to the profiles, and I think that they perform very well. Overall, it's pretty good. I should have started with the Wobbuffet on my side, though. I think that would have been a better and smart decision, because honestly, I wanted to prevent my opponent from using Shaman, so, that was kind of an issue there. But whatever. And again, this match will be incredibly long if you haven't already realized by the 34 minutes or so that it'll take up. Mainly because both of these decks are stall decks. Mine trying to stall out by locking the opponent's abilities, and his deck trying to stall by locking out item cards. So this match will go incredibly slow because it's a lock deck versus a lock deck. So it's going to be a long ride. So I'll attach an energy and hammer that double up colorless away. So unless he can pull up another one, I'll still get another turn where I can use items. Play a Trainer's Mail. Looks like did I get a super scoop up from that? I don't know if I grabbed it, but I can see it in the hand. VS Seeker is an item card, but I opt out not to get anything. It appears I'm in somewhat of a little issue here, getting supporter dead. I'll have to hope I can top deck something. But I will be able to play a Shaman, so maybe I can get something out of that. Do get the Muscle Band, so I will play that down, making sure that whenever Toad is in the format and whenever you're playing it, that you put all of your item cards down as fast as you can, especially those tools. Play all those item cards while you still have the opportunity to do so. because you will regret not playing them at a later time in the game. And then I'll go for another Shaman, but for some reason I put in the discard pile instead of putting it on the bench. And it does look like I did get that double colorless energy, so I will be able to start attacking on turn 2 as long as nothing happens. But, you know, considering that both of our decks run quite a high amount of Enhanced Hammer and other cards, you know, that's one of the reasons why these two decks will stall each other. I mean, my deck runs, I think, 3 Enhanced Hammer. His runs 4 and is a Rosic, so it's kind of how it works when you have two decks that are kind of meant to just troll. They troll each other, and then they don't really do much of anything. And he'll grab a Banette. And for those who don't know, Banette, what it does is it makes all item or all tool cards in play have no effect. So for this game, as long as Banette is in play, my Muscle Band will not do anything. Headringers won't do anything. Any tool cards will not really have any effect. You can still attach them. So, like, you know, a tool drop deck would still work, but they just don't have an effect. And so you'll play a Professor Birch, another card that really didn't see much play, but I think it'll get a lot of play when all those other cards rotate out. And I think I really do like Birch. That's a fun card to play with the risk of, you know, getting a full 7 cards with just 4. But I really like Birch. I might even like it more than Sycamore just because, you know, you don't have to discard anything that you might really need. But it depends on the deck you play, I think. Some decks really need Sycamore, like Night March, because they need to discard those Night Marchers. Other decks have a lot of stuff they need to set up, and if you play Sycamore, you could be discarding that stuff, and it's not really worth it. And we'll see my opponent use a Trainer's Mail for a AZ, another card that both of these decks play. And we'll see just my opponent pass and not really do anything. So right away we see that I put my double colorless energy on Gengar and get ready to attack here. And I'll just go in for the Dark Corridor, it appears. And for anyone who doesn't know why, you know, where I'm playing a switch deck without the Floatstone, because I use Mr. Energy to give free retreat to those Wobbuffets, and it's a really good card overall. It's you know, just an energy, so it can't be like, you know, tool scrappered away, except that tool is going to be going away. But, you know, it can't be Starling Megaphone away. Jeez, I couldn't even find the word. You couldn't Starling Megaphone it away, but it can be hammered away or Zerosic, so I mean it's still kind of vulnerable there. But it is nice because it's not an item card, so with Seismitoad you can still play it and give Wobbuffet free retreats. That's a big one, especially against Seismitoad. And we'll see another disruption card come into play. My opponent will play that AZ to pick up that Seismitoad, and also that Enhanced Hammer just a little bit ago. And he'll come in with the Toad and start Quaking Punching, so now I am out of my item cards. And I probably will be for a very long time. So I'll see that mystery energy drop. No, maybe not. And really, I mean, my opponent really has a good position now that he has gotten that Seismitoad into play. For some reason, I opt out just to go with attaching to Gengar and stalling a little bit. I think this is mainly because I only play one double colorless energy, so there's there's no way I'm going to get another energy to charge up Gengar, with 2 energies, so I have to start going for the 3 energy attack because Skyfield is currently out. Or I can put a Dimension Valley in play, and Gengar will be able to attack, but not for the moment. But we'll also have to retreat Wobbuffet, so whatever way you look at it, it's going to at least take 2 turns to get this all set up again. Again, when you disrupt a disruption deck, it makes the game incredibly slow. Very, 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 very slow. Looks like I got a heads on Birch as I have a whopping 7 cards on my hand. And I'll just pass and try to stall with the Wobbuffet in the active spot, so I guess that'll work. And we'll see another Seismitoad drop down, so if I do happen to knock out one of his Toads, he has another one ready to go. And all we see is Xerosic. So Xerosic, the Mr. Energy away. Again, it's got its weaknesses too, and just Quaking Punch and add 3 more damage to that. See another Psychic Energy. Drop onto the Gengar. And another Wobbuffet. Oh, nope. Not going to put the Wobbuffet down. So, I mean, in this situation, with the Skyfield, my opponent can start getting that double colorless energy onto the Raichu and start hitting for heavy damage once he gets a couple more Pokemon on there. Now that he's Quaking Punched, he's weakening my deck a little bit. So, for right now, he is in a better position, but, his deck runs slow, so it'll give me time to start searching for cards that I do need. And it looks like I got a Tails on the Birch there again. It's got its ups and downs with the cards. Sometimes you want the Tails, sometimes you don't, if you're going to deck yourself out or not. But overall, it's just a great card. I mean, it's got a lot of risk to it, but if you get a heads on that, one of the best, supporters, I don't know, the game's ever seen maybe. Just because drawing 7 cards without pretty much no repercussions is just so good. And now he has another Seismitoad fully charged up and ready to go. So that can be quite annoying. And I don't know what my opponent's thinking about doing right now. But appears that we're talking about something. I don't know what it is. And he'll just Quaking Punch for an extra 30. And now that Quaking Punching is starting to really take a toll because I'm kind of in this position here where it's going to take multiple turns to charge up more cards. Luckily, he has really nothing to add the damage up quickly to try to speed it up. He needs to get that, knock out this Wobbuffet here and get a lot of Pokemon on the bench so he can start hitting for heavy damage with the Raichu. And you'll see him just knock out that Wobbuffet. Now I have a fully charged up Gengar and ready to start attacking. And now that I do have that Gengar fully charged up, that is something that I can look at and really be happy about. And I'll just get that Mystery Energy to Wobbuffet, so now I have a full cycle of switching and back and forth. And I will make a couple modifications to this deck. I think it's not perfected at all, but I think, it'll be okay as long as I can spam those enhanced hammers and just, troll. Be a troll. I will take out some energy and try to put some double colorless in there because I tried to work with the Mr. Energy and it just doesn't really work. And I think, Enhanced Hammer is a very good card, but, only Seismitoad variants really play it. And with the new rotation, it appears that decks will become more, more speed and less trolly, I should say. More just about hitting for high damage and just trying to do that. I mean, definitely the Vileplume Giratina deck is going to be a troll deck, but for the most part, I don't see the game getting more trollier besides that deck. That is an excuse there. And we'll see him drop another energy, and this time it'll be on to the Raichu. So now the Raichu is fully powered up. If he can find a way to, maybe Lysander up a Gengar, get some damage on it, and then Circle Circuit, taking the prize there. But we'll just see him play an Escape Rope. Yeah, so that is, another way to do it. I couldn't really switch into other cards because I don't believe I had a way to retreat out of those cards, so it's kind of stuck there. And he will get a tremendous amount of damage on that Gengar. So now I have to start thinking about charging another one up here. And there's a card we haven't seen very much play of, a Robo Substitute. For anyone who doesn't know, it's pretty much like a 30 HP Pokemon that you can just switch into. Your opponent can knock it out, can be affected by special conditions, everything like that. It is an item card, so it is played like a basic Pokemon. And you can discard it whenever you want, so whoever the owner of the card can just say, oh, I don't want this Robo Substitute anymore. I can just discard it. And that's really neat. And we'll see the Dimension Valley come into play. We'll see a Skyfield get sent to the discard pile. And luckily for my opponent, he had no more Pokemon on his bench yet to be sent to the discard pile. And I will attach a Headringer to the Seismitoad. So that still doesn't have any effect because Banette is still in play. But if I do find a way to knock out that Banette, the Headringer actually has an effect. And we will just see another Dark Corridor into a Wobbuffet with the Mystery Energy. And we'll see here. Is that enough to knock out the Raichu? Dark Corridor reduces 60, 70 with the poison. No, he would have 10 HP left. So by the time he attacks, and Raichu will be done. If he does attack. He could just retreat, but I don't know what I think I'm doing here. We'll see another Trainer's Mail being played, and we'll get a VS Seeker, so could always VS Seeker for an AZ. So if he wanted to just pick up the Raichu, he could always do that. Or he could just, find a Xerosic something away to try to slow me down a little bit. He's fine with losing it, just a prize here. But instead he appears to grab... What did he grab? Well, I see a Wally that's there, but I don't know why he didn't grab that. Maybe it was a Birch? Maybe. I don't know. That was kind of weird. I'm going to play Super Scoop Up, trying to get that Raichu up. And he is unsuccessful with that. And it's quite surprising that we were like almost 20 minutes through this video, and I have still not taken a prize card yet. But that's the power of a troll deck going against another troll deck. And he uses that free retreat with Raichu to just come in and start attacking with the Seismitoad. So now item cards are locked again, but at this point, if he can't find more cards to get rid of my energy, I'm in a very good position right now to just start hitting for a lot of damage. But if he can't pull a Lysander, he could start trying to hit that Gengar and knock that one out. Probably the best thing that he can do right now, considering that I still do not have that other Gengar charged up. He's probably also looking for a Skyfield so he can start hitting for a decent amount of damage if he can start getting Pokemon on the bench. There is also 1/1 Flareon line in here, so if he's trying to get that out, he could lock that Skyfield in play. And we'll see another Birch play that go down. So I don't know how many Birches has been, but quite a lot. Quite a lot. And he flips Tails on the Birch. Again, it's a card when it's got a lot of risk to it, but it's a very fun card to play with, and I suggest that you try it out before the sets get rotated through. So if you're overall a very fun card and very good card, I think, to play with. I think you'll find a nice 2 copies of in each deck or so. I mean, probably share with Shauna. And obviously Sycamore will still be very common to find in decks, but Shaman is just such a good card. I don't know. The support count has dropped a little bit. VS Seeker is still very high, though, because now with VS Seeker you can run a lot of 1-ofs in decks, and just VS Seeker for that 1-of if you happen to Sycamore it away. So VS Seeker has kind of minimized some of the repercussions of using Sycamore, which is a good thing. And it is now my turn, it appears. And I'll probably just Dark Corridor. Yeah. I think we're just talking about coming in for the Dark Corridor for the knockout. Yeah. So I do take my first prizes about 25 minutes in through the video. Yay. 10 minutes or so left to go, and somehow I still have 4 prize cards left. And again, that Headringer is not doing anything right now because Banette is still in play, so my opponent can still use Quaking Punch for just 2 energy and Grenade Hammer for 3. And really, with this deck, Grenade Hammering isn't a horrible idea. I mean, because most of these Pokemon will get knocked out in one hit anyway. So, you know, it's not a horrible idea as long as you don't put any damage on a Shaman, because that makes Shaman very vulnerable. And giving it only 80 HP for a card that will take 2 prizes if it's knocked out is not a good idea at all. And we'll see just a VS Seeker for another Birch, or just we'll see Birch getting played. And another Tails flipped on the Birch. It does appear that our decks are getting fairly thin, but I guess that's what happens when you get through 25 minutes through the video. And really at this point, my opponent kind of has to find a VS Seeker or something, because if he doesn't, you know, he can't get that Lysander that he needs, or he could just try to get a Lysander, but he needs to find something to get rid of that Gengar, because I've had many turns where I could have gotten another Gengar charged up, and it looks like it'll start this turn, but I've had plenty of turns, and my opponent, you know, hasn't really capitalized on anything, probably because he hasn't really found what he needed to. But that, and I will just free retreat into, or I'll use Dark Corridor. Okay, a Dark Corridor, but in this time I'll go into the substitute, because that Wobbuffet has 90 damage on it, and I do not want to lose that. So I'll just try to stall for another turn and see what goes on there. And if I do see a VS Seeker in my opponent's hand, if there is a Lysander in the discard pile, he could go for that. I don't believe there's 110 damage on the Gengar, or 100 damage, so he would have to retreat into the Raichu to do that. But we'll just see another Birch being played. And his deck is getting very, very thin. If he does get a heads on the Birch, he risks decking out. Not this turn, but in one of the later turns coming up here. It appears he did get ahead, so, you know, there's a time when you don't even want to get ahead on Birch because you're getting so close to decking out. We'll see an Ultra Ball drop for a Water Energy and a Sycamore, and he'll grab a Flareon. It's interesting. Or not a Flareon, a Ninetales, excuse me. And he does have the Vulpix, so he, you know, within a turn he could get that going. And again, this is a situation where Enwood could have been played to disrupt the opponent, as he has revealed that he is going to evolve, essentially, because the cards force you to show that Pokemon that you're using. And this is a situation where N would usually be played to disrupt, but without it, I can't really do much to disrupt him besides trying to knock out that Vulpix, but it doesn't really do much in this situation because there isn't a Skyfield out yet, so he does have to get that and then evolve. And it really, at this point, because I do have that Gengar with 3 energy on it, it really doesn't do much to disrupt my deck. I just hope that I have enough energy to start attacking with a decent amount of damage on the Gengar, the other one. I just hope that I have a decent amount of energy so I can start attacking with that Gengar, because the other one has so much, well, not a whole lot of damage, but I mean, enough to the point where a Circle with Raichu with a full bench will knock it out. So we do see for some reason we do see that evolve, the Vulpix evolve, but I must have just let my opponent, I let my opponent just pick it up. At this point, he only has like, I believe I counted 5 or 6 cards left in his deck. So, I mean, not good at all for him there. And again, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people do not like Switch decks, because, the engine of the deck, or the main Pokemon engine, I should say, is, Gengar, or if you know a different deck, whatever that switching, attacker is. And switching into another Pokemon prevents the opponent from knocking that switcher out. And they can get really annoying because, usually that switcher is kind of some kind of tech card and something that the opponent does not really want to attack on, and it gets really annoying. And, you just don't want to deal with it, really. And we do see another Muscle Man drop. Again, it doesn't really do anything. Dimension Valley is out, so Gengar, the one on the bench, is able to use Dark Corridor for the moment, but if my opponent does find a Skyfield and has 5 cards left, then that is something. We'll just see... Oh, okay, so I Lysandered up the Banette, and I'll just knock that out. So now, those item cards, or the tool cards, do have a purpose now, and I can start hitting for a decent amount of damage with the Gengar. And a Pikachu, we'll see Pikachu getting benched, and a Birch coming down. So my opponent is pretty much hoping that he gets a Tails on this, because if he gets a Heads, he will only have a very limited amount of cards left in his deck. He might not even have any cards left, so this could very well be his last turn. But he does get a Tails on that, so he will have just a few more turns to do something. But I mean, he does discard the Mystery Energy. So I was just saying, he's in a really tough situation right now, because, I can knock out that Raichu with the Gengar as long as he doesn't retreat with the... Oh, actually, there would be enough. Yeah, it would do 90 with the Muscle Band, so there's actually enough damage to knock out the Raichu in one hit. So he's trying to slow me down as much, but I do top deck that switch and go straight into the Gengar, and that is game right there, because I can just do Dark Corridor for 60, Poison makes it 70, Muscle Band adds 20 extra damage, and we just realized that there. And my opponent was missing a Shaman, so that kind of hurt him a lot in his prizes. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I enjoy everything that you guys give these videos. They've been receiving so much, appreciation from you guys. I mean, there's been a lot of people viewing these videos. They've been becoming a really big success. So if you'd like to continue to see these videos, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you are new to this channel and you want to see more of these videos, I try to get them uploaded fairly consistently. So, subscribe to see more of those. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later in the next video.